So today I'm testing 12 different brands and types of acrylic paints on my DIY gel plate. They range from bargain bin basics to studio quality. And yes, I even threw 3 of my own homemade paints into the mix. This video is of course part of the Gelplate ABC series. I thought I had it all figured out. The perfect DIY gel plate recipe. Beautiful prints, happy comments, a growing community. Honestly, I felt kind of invincible. Until I wasn't. It started with a message from Helena in Sweden. She had followed my recipe, but her plate turned out sticky. The paint dried way too fast. Nothing worked like it should. So I did what any mildly obsessive DIYer would do. I ordered the same paint Helena used to test it myself. And guess what? It didn't work at all. At first, I blamed the paint. But then my usual trusty cheap craft paints stopped working too. Same plates, same technique, same me, same everything. Suddenly, my holy grail gel plate recipe felt less like a genius and more like a failed magic potion. And I felt like a fraud. Like the DIY version of a snake oil salesperson. Had I been giving people bad advice? Sure, summer had hit in full force. Soaring temperatures, high humidity. Could it be that my plate just doesn't work in summer? Or was it something else? Some mysterious lunar condition? A cosmic glitch in the DIY matrix? For a brief moment, I honestly wondered whether I keep making videos at all. But then I remembered. Last summer I'd definitely done gel printing. Same recipe, same heat. I mean, I barely remember what I had for lunch yesterday. But thankfully, past me filmed enough to rescue present me from full meltdown mode. The plate had worked. Proof, evidence, sanity restored. So I gave it one more try. I refreshed an old plate. I even made a completely new one. Same recipe, same paint. And suddenly, everything worked again. Even the Amsterdam paint. Was it the weather, the age of the plate? A cosmic glitch? Or maybe, just maybe, something stranger? I still don't know. But I do know this. Curiosity beats panic. Every time. So let's talk paint. I decided to run a proper paint test on my DIY gel plate. Obviously, I started with what I already had. Paints I'd been using regularly. Artico, Primo Acrylic, Van Bleiswijk, Teddy, Arteza and Solo Goya. Then I added a few more to the mix. Amsterdam Standard Series, Liquitex Basics and Studio Acrylics by Pébéo. I specifically chose the Pébéo because I already own a few metallics from them and those work beautifully on the DIY plate. And then, because obviously I couldn't resist, I made 3 acrylic paints from scratch and threw them into the test as well. How and why I made them, that's a whole separate adventure coming soon. To make the paint coverage more visible and trackable, I tried using mostly transparent or semi-opaque colors. Didn't work out for every brand or color, but I gave it a good shot. I also placed a pattern paper underneath the gel plate so you can better see how thin or thick the paint layer really is. And now let's dive into the test. To keep it simple, each paint goes through 2 rounds of testing. This is round 1, seeing how each paint behaves when rolled out across the plate. How much paint do I actually need for a plate size 20 by 28 centimeters? Does it spread well? Does it dry too fast? Does it lift off cleanly? Let's just say I was looking for that sweet spot between barely there and accidental wallpaper paste. For this one, I divided the paints into 3 groups of 4, because that's what I figured I could handle without total chaos. And for this test, I ditched the speedball brayer and brought back the original, the smooth operator. If you've seen my brayer DIY on a budget video, you'll understand. If not, just know this. It's a rolling pin and it's a fantastic and extremely budget-friendly brayer alternative. So I wrote out each group in straight parallel stripes at the pace I normally work. Then I placed the first test strip. In this case, it happened to be after around about 50 seconds. I know, I probably could have done it faster. But anyways, as you'll see in a minute, most paints stayed wet way longer than I expected. Now, about my interval plan. I had one, but I abandoned it halfway through the test. At first, I thought I spaced the test strips every 30 seconds, up to 1 minute. So the second strip went down just 20 seconds later because I panicked a little and thought I'm already too late. Then the third followed after another 30 seconds. And from then on, I switched to a rhythm of 1 new test strip per full minute. And for the record, same brayer, same paper, same lighting, same room, same temperature. And not to forget, same me. As you could see, the Solar Goya paint dried super fast, while most of the others were still hanging out, staying wet and relaxed. And because I'm me and I can't leave things half-tested, I extended the experiment to a full 10 minutes. And guess what? Even after 10 minutes, some of the paint was still partially open. Now, before you get too excited, I might have wrote on a little too much paint. It's possible. So, your test results might differ if you are more controlled with your layers than I am. And because I don't want to bore you to death, I'll show you the full print results in fast forward. Which basically means you'll see how much paint it took to get a nicely covered edge-to-edge print. This next group, the green group, followed the same testing setup as before. Except this time I skipped the 20-second test strip, because honestly, that one turned out to be kind of pointless. Just as a reminder, I placed the first test strip about 50 seconds after applying the paint, and from there on added a new strip every full minute. Now, as you can clearly see, my homemade paint made with an eco-friendly acrylic binder from Pébéo had the shortest open time of the group. So it's probably best suited for layering techniques where you want the paint to dry quickly. As for the other three paints, Liquitex, Artico and Arteza, they all stayed wet through to kind of the last test strip. Which means, you guessed it, I extended the test to 10 minutes for them as well. And even then, they were impressively slow to dry. Even Liquitex didn't really show significant drying until the 10-minute mark in this round. And here, in the blue group, I had to add a bit more paint for the Van Bleiswijk color. What I've noticed over the past month, or if not even years, with many of the cheaper paints, not all, but many that fall into the medium to heavy body category, I tend to need more paint to get solid coverage. But then, there's my favorite blue. A budget paint too, but this ultramarine, absolute hero. The pigmentation is out of this world. And the handling, so smooth, so reliable. I just love it. The very runny budget paints, like the one from Teddy, for example, are kind of the opposite. You have to go in with light hand or they'll flood the plate. And of course, I extended the test to 10 minutes or even more for this third group as well. Because once we are nerding out, we are going all in. So, what did I learn? All of the tested paints worked on the plate. But still, I wouldn't really recommend Solo Goya. It dries way too fast. With my light green DIY paint, it's pretty, but also dried too quickly. I'll definitely keep testing that one. What really surprised me, how long some of these paints actually stayed wet when I'm in a printing session. It always feels like they dry instantly. But when I'm just sitting and waiting, 2 minutes suddenly feels like forever. One important thing to keep in mind. This test isn't universal. Your results might differ depending on your local climate or whether it's summer or winter. But what I can say is every single paint I tested worked on my DIY gel plate. So if you follow my recipe, you should be able to use any of them too. Let's say the DIY gel plate is a living, breathing creature. It has moods, seasons, maybe even horoscopes. And that's oddly comforting. Most important, don't panic if your prints go weird. Just get curious. Ask questions. Try again. And if your plate still feels sticky, try remelting with a little extra water. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to play, experiment and embrace the mess. Let's keep creating one imperfect layer at a time. See you in the next one.